Hi, y'all. It has been eternity, and I'm back. I am still here in Costa Rica. Yes, it was supposed to be 3 months. It has now been, I think we're going on our eighth month here. And this is very all of a sudden. I was just thinking about it. This is actually November of 2022 makes my 18th year in this industry. So I started back in 2004 and I started working at Lifetime Fitness in Centerville, Virginia. Shout out to all my Lifetime Fitness folks there in Centerville. And this has been a career that I never saw coming. I thought that I was going to be going into a completely different field, but here we are 18 years later, still doing the same thing. So for the past 18 years, day in, day out, I have been helping folks become their best self and get in their best health possible without restriction, without overdoing it, and all the things. So as I was, because I've been avoiding Facebook for quite a bit. I've actually not been avoiding Facebook. What's actually been going on is that I've been doing some work with another company, another fitness company, and he has this step challenge. It's called the Extreme Hip Hop Challenge or Extreme Challenge with Phil Wheaton. And I've been their food coach. So I've been doing that for about 4 months, and it keeps me actually pretty busy. And I've been able to help hundreds, actually thousands of people at one time. And it's been really awesome. And it's been a program that I've put together from scratch for them. And it's been really cool because it's been helping people change their lives. And I've changed their thought about what healthy eating means, what being healthy means. Well, healthy eating more so. And they are enjoying it. They're seeing results. And they're like, wow, I had no idea this could be so easy. And I'm like, I did. So for today, I actually got started the week of Thanksgiving. I think it was actually, I can't remember if I got started in the industry, if it was the week prior to Thanksgiving or the week after Thanksgiving, but it was just by chance. I was interning at Lifetime Fitness and someone left at the last minute. And I'd been interning for a couple of months and they're like, you're in the game now. And I'm like, holy crap. And so it's been a learning process. And so I decided to come up with 18 things, 18 main things that I've learned over the past 18 years being in the health industry. And believe me, at first I thought like, gosh, am I going to be able to come up with 18? And then I'm like, yo, good thing I'm not here. Like I could have come up with 30, 40, 50 things that I've learned because the coach that I am today absolutely was not the coach that I started off being. So this is in no particular order. And yeah, I got notes because that's just my memory is like that. So the first thing I will say, and I've switched over from doing fitness and nutrition to mainly doing nutrition. So some things are going to come more from the food aspect because that's usually where people struggle the most. But the number one thing I will say, bar none, is that mindset matters more than anything else. If you can't get your mind right, you will you'll always trip up. I mean, like I said, I've been helping folks in this whole weight loss thing for 18 years. And for people that keep starting up and start start and all of this stuff and yo-yo and fall off, it's usually because like their mind isn't really in it, right? And what do I mean by that? I mean that I tell people now that they can't be the same person. You got to like kill off your old self. You cannot be the same person starting at the beginning of your journey of health, fitness, weight loss, healthy eating, all that stuff. You're not going to be the same person by the time you reach the goal of who you want to be. And it is an absolute journey because believe me, I've had some folks that I've worked with and it's just a matter of decisions. So I will say mindset, and then I'll also say that I am no different. And folks in the health industry are no different than anyone else. It's just decisions. We can make different choices and we would be our own client in a sense. Okay. Number two, I would always say add things in before you start taking things out, especially when it comes to nutrition. A lot of times folks just want to like cut things out. So they're just like, they'll cut out chocolate, they cut out sweets, they cut out bread, or they cut out like all of their favorite things. And it leads them to restriction, which will lead them into a closet with like a whole gallon of whatever they're trying to give up in the first place. So I will say add things in first. If you know that like you need to be eating more vegetables, like add vegetables. Yo, you could still have like, let's just say that you were just like, okay, I need to eat better, but I'm eating McDonald's every day. Yo, just like add a salad to your McDonald's or get a small fry and a salad instead. But add some things in that will make things healthier versus taking things out. And it makes it a much easier process. You can start to make different decisions, but just to get you into the game, start adding the good stuff in. Drink more water, sleep a little bit more, stress out a little bit less. I know that's a no, add more good stuff to get you less stress, and add in more vegetables, add in more movement. Okay. I have some allergies. Like the part of Costa Rica, we're in the city now, and it's like a perpetual spring. Like it's very cool, it's great, but like my allergies are like a whole no, so I'm a little congested. Next thing, you can dine out every day and lose weight. There was a period of time where I worked with a lot of folks that were in the consulting industry, and they were traveling a lot. Like they would typically travel from like Thursday until I'm sorry, they would travel like Sunday until Thursday, only be home for like a day or two, and then boom, they're right back on the plane. And so most of them had to dine out. And they were still dropping like 10 pounds a month, even though they were eating out every single meal. It can be done. You just, again, it comes down to the decision. So that is a myth. You do not have to cook all the time in order to be successful. The next thing I would say is number 4 is to give a plan 6 weeks. There's so many times that I see folks that switch things up way too often. Like they'll start off with one thing and then they heard that their friend's on keto, so they go over there, and then they heard their other friend is vegan and lost weight, so they go over there, and then they heard their other friend just did the cabbage soup diet, so they went over there, and then this other friend is taking the supplement, so they do that, and it's like you never know what's working. So figure out something you want to do, stick with it for 6 weeks, and that will give you some feedback. If you fall off, you know it wasn't for you. But you can also take what are some of the things that I liked about this, and you can utilize that and then just get rid of the rest. Okay. Next thing I would say, don't do anything that you can't stick to for at least 5 years. Okay. And I know that sounds extreme, but I have folks again that will start off and they're just like, yo, I'm willing to do anything. Like, I just want to lose this weight. I'm done. And so they swear that they'll do anything. They're like, I'll stop eating sweets. I'll stop doing this. I'll stop doing that. And I'm like, yeah, but do you want to do that forever? Or especially people that are like heavy meat eaters and then they tell me they want to be vegan. And I'm like, do you really want to be vegan? Or like, do you want to do that for the rest of your life? So Thanksgiving's coming up. Do you really want to not have turkey for the rest of your life? And they're like, ooh, no. Then I'm like, you don't want to be vegan. And that's fine, because the next one that I will say is that vegan does not equal healthy. Vegetarian does not equal healthy. It just means you're not consuming either meat or all meats or animal products. Okay. That does not equal health. So you don't have to be vegan. You don't have to be vegetarian. You don't have to be gluten free, because that does not mean that you're healthy. The number of vegans and vegetarians that I've worked with that barely eat vegetables, yo, you'd be shocked. Okay. So don't do anything that you don't feel that you can stick with. The best way to lose weight is the way that you want to live your life. So figure out ways that work for you. The reason you keep falling off of other people's program is because it's not working for you. Everybody has a different thing. That's one thing that I definitely learned after many years in this industry. What works for one person doesn't work for everybody. Your lifestyles are different. Your habits are different. The things you actually want to do and can commit to are going to be different. So build your own health wagon so that you stop falling off of everybody else's. All right. Next one, if your nutrition is a mess, just work on your nutrition and walk. Okay. A lot of times we're trying to just do too many things. We want to like change our fitness, start drinking more water, and then, work out 2-a-days and redo our entire nutrition. And that actually can lead to a lot of analysis paralysis where you don't end up doing anything or you don't do it well. So if your nutrition is a mess, work on fixing that and just go for walks. 30-minute walks every day and working on your food can do wonders. It doesn't work forever. It can, depending on what your goals are, but it's a great place to start. All right. Next one. Food is not the problem. Okay. Brownies are not the problem. Ice cream is not the problem. Wine is not the problem. Bread is not the problem. Because let me tell you, I have eaten more carbs here than I've ever eaten before. We eat bread. We buy bread almost every 2 days because it's fresh baked bread from a bakery. And a lot of things are freshly baked. I eat more carbs here than, it kind of blows my mind because I was trying not to because I'm not typically a big carb eater, but it's, Central America. It's a Latin American country. Carbs are consumed. And you know what? It's not the food, it's our relationship with food and it's the quantity of food. So it's not your addiction to sweets, right? Because like you really don't have an addiction to sweets, like in la realidad. What the issue actually is what you're using sweets to replace. You're using sweets to replace like a crappy day at work or dealing with, something that you didn't like. So you're using sweets to kind of distract you. You're using bread and alcohol and all the other things as a distraction. You can have all of those things, still achieve your weight goals, still achieve your life goals, still achieve your health goals. It's not the food, it's how we use the food that's the problem and how much, but also goes into how we're using it. Okay. You have to be comfortable with being bored sometimes. This is a conversation I have with a lot of my clients. They're just like, well, I'm bored eating this. Yeah, food is not here to entertain you. It's something that can absolutely be fun. I love food. I love cooking. I love eating. We dine out legit just about once a day, which is crazy because that's not my life. But we're exploring some of the different food around here and just some of the things that we like to eat. So it's but at the same time, you have to be comfortable being bored. It's not here to excite you, okay? So you have to be comfortable cooking your own meals. You have to be comfortable sometimes eating vegetables when you don't want to. Someone asked me, well, what happens if I meal prep the salad and I don't feel like eating it? It depends. Have you had enough vegetables throughout the day? If so, then don't eat the salad. You don't have to eat salads to get in vegetables. But at the other point, like if you haven't had enough vegetables, suck it up and eat the salad because you haven't had enough vegetables. I do that all the time. I eat vegetables when I don't really feel like it or where it doesn't really work because I haven't had that many. Okay. So sometimes you have to be comfortable with things being mundane and things being boring. It's kind of an interesting thing too, because people say that with healthy stuff, but they don't say that with like the junk food. Like, you're literally eating the same crap food most of the time. You're ordering the same food when you go to those same restaurants. Like, how are you not bored with that? Come on, y'all. So next one. You'll have to kind of open up your meal options too. I'll have some folks that start off just like, well, I don't like vegetables. Not a problem. We can work with the vegetables that you like, but then you do kind of need to like push the envelope because there's only so many ways to make green beans. Okay, if that's all that you like. So I do encourage you to start like going out of your comfort zone and finding other things because you will definitely need to broaden your horizons to be successful with it, finding new ways to make things. If you've only fried things, that's going to be a whole problem. So we just need to find new ways, expand your options. All right, you will need to learn how to cook on a basic level. I have had so many people want to fight me on this. And while I did say that you don't have to cook, you can dine out, it is not a sustainable way of doing things. So many people are like, well, I'm going to get this meal prep company. That's cool. Like if you have like infinite amounts of money and you're independently wealthy, hire a private chef. But you're going to get tired of those foods that the meal companies create, and that junk is expensive. So I at least recommend that you have a basic level of cooking knowledge. Know how to make a couple of different meals. So even if you don't like it, we can make it work. I've had a client where she told me legit, she's like, you get 2 hours out of me. I think she said 2 hours. 2 hours out of the week out of her for cooking. We took her air fryer, we took her slow cooker, and made magic happen. You don't have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, but you do need to know your basics. All right, next up, drink some water. Dehydrated plants die. Dehydrated people do too, but semi-hydrated people do not lose weight. So it's kind of like a chemical equation. You need to make sure that you're drinking water. Plus, drinking water actually increases your metabolism. For every 16 ounces of water that you drink, you increase your metabolism for up to 33% for the next 45 minutes. So just drinking water can increase your metabolism. Do it. All right. Next up, get a support group. Get a support group and tell the people how you want them to support you. That is one of the biggest things that I do with clients whenever we first start off. I'm like, okay, who's your support crew? And then how do you want them to support you? If you have a significant other and you just tell them like, hey, I'm working on this weight loss thing again, like I want your support. Now, when your significant other, especially if it's a man, is just like, should you be eating that? you know your nutritionist said you shouldn't be eating that, you're going to get annoyed and you're going to be like, I'm an adult, I do what I want. And then you're going to like, that causes a whole bunch of problems. But if you went to them and you said like, hey, look, I'm doing this thing again, here's how I'd like for you to support me. Please don't bring my favorite thing into the house. Please don't eat it right beside me. Please, if we're out somewhere and I order something, it'd just be like, babe, you really want that cake, or something, but tell them how you want them to support you, okay? Also with your friends, because you may have some friends that are just not about that life, and that may just need to be your indulgent meal friends, and that's cool, but get a support crew, let them know how to support you. Cool, we are on 15. 15, you do not have to give up anything or diet or follow a specific plan or count anything. You do not need to count calories, macros, points, carbs. I don't know what else you can count, but you don't have to count or do any of that stuff to be successful with weight loss or with being a healthy person. Okay. You need to know what portions look like. Okay. So that might be a beginning thing. But after that, you don't need to count calories. You don't need to count anything. Now, will this work for some people? Absolutely. But then what ends up happening, because I always have clients that start off and they're like, I love MyFitnessPal. I love to count calories. There's very few people that really, really, again, in la realidad, like to do that kind of crap every day. What usually happens is like Monday through Thursday, I get all the good things, right? And then like Friday, I was like, they disappeared. Saturday, still nothing. Sunday, nothing. And then Monday, it's like they're only eating 800 calories. And it's because like they didn't want to log in the things that made them feel bad. But it's like, yo, again, it goes back to the other point. It's not food that's the issue. It's how you're relating to food or what purpose food is serving for you at that particular thing that is a problem. So most people in the world that are healthy, they don't count things, okay? They just eat healthy. When you are not stressed out, when you are sleeping like you're supposed to, when you're well hydrated, when you are having like a positive mindset and stuff like that, you don't tend to overeat or overindulge on things because you're not trying to eat your feelings, which is where we go to, where is that? Oh, well, I don't know if that one's on there, but I'm going to put that one in there. Stop eating your feelings and feel your feelings, okay? It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to cry. But when you're eating and stuffing your face to try and be distracted for a quick second or get that little endorphin rush because you're sad, you're lonely, you're depressed, or anything like that, it's not serving you. Deal with it. Deal with your loneliness. Deal with your sadness. Deal with your anger. Deal with your trauma. Go to therapy, y'all. Therapy. I mean, that was the best thing of 2020, I thought, was that people started to embrace therapy more. Get your life together so that you can stop using food to like avoid your feelings. Feel it. Cry, be mad. Maybe you need to curse somebody out. I don't know. Like that can be helpful sometimes. But like deal with it instead of eating through it. All right? Let's see, now I feel like I'm on this soapbox. Number 16, gut health matters. All right. It is not normal to crave things. Okay. To have like insatiable cravings, like to have a craving where you're like, ooh, wow, that's some cake. That looks yummy. And I want it. That's cool. But if you're just like waking up in the morning craving cake, through the afternoon, you need more sugar and stuff like that's not normal. That means something's off with your gut. And finally, in modern like mainstream media, they're talking about the importance of gut health. Folks that have been in the industry for a while, we've known about this for like at least a good decade and a half. Because I mean, like I learned about gut health like I don't know, like 10 years ago. Your gut matters. So if your gut microbiome is off, then you will crave, it's like the not so great part of your gut will crave sugars. And so like you will be feeding that part and you're craving sugars or craving a lot of carbs. So if you're having insatiable cravings, something's off with your gut, which could be something that's linked to stress as well. But your gut matters. So get that health good and everything else will be good. All right, sleep and your stress levels are holding you back. And your schedule. Did I have schedule in there? That's the last one. So 17 is all about just like your stress and your sleep levels. Most of the time when I'm talking to folks, like they're really stressed out. When you are stressed out, you're going to crave more carbs and sugars. But then what's interesting is that when we're stressed out, we also want to work out at a higher intensity because like we get that endorphin rush and we feel good. However, doing high intensity workouts in an already stressed like system does not help you. It will actually help you to gain more body fat because you're just secreting even more cortisol. Okay. So get your stress levels under control. You know, you may need to break off some relationships with people, family included. I mean, Thanksgiving is a great time to really see who's there for you. But you might also just need to find other ways of de-stressing if you're like in caregiving. The number of folks that I know that are in caregiving and helping their parents and other relatives or their significant other through some like terminal or like serious illnesses, it weighs on them. So find ways to help your stress levels. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Yo, this little Facebook scrolling thing, TikTok and YouTube. I mean, I can be, believe me, I do it too. But set a time frame so that you're not missing out on sleep. You can always scroll back and figure out what's going on in people's lives. We're just nosy anyway. And then the last one, start by working on your daily schedule. Okay. For a lot of folks, like that's one of the first things I do with them as well is take a look at their schedule. A lot of time we're wasting a lot of time. Okay. I can be great at wasting time, but we're wasting a lot of time. And that's what's happening to where we're not getting our sleep. We're not working out and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. Because we are typically working now, corporate is crazy now. So we're working probably like anywhere between 8 to 10 hours, but then you should be sleeping for anywhere between 7 to 8 hours. But then that still leaves a good amount of time for you to work out, get your life together, spend time with your family, and yeah, do things that feed your soul. So those are my 18 things that I have learned. Believe me, I have so many more, but I've only been doing this for 18 years. So I ran out of years for a number of things. But all of this to say, like, I usually do like a Thanksgiving workshop or Thanksgiving tips, and I just really didn't do that this time because it was 18 years. But what I am going to be doing is I am, as my way of kind of diving back into things here, I'm going to be doing a free 5 day Thanksgiving rehab because you're about to be, look, you're going to be in a couple different parties. You either have a plan, you know it's going to work, it's going to be great, or maybe you're staying at home and cooking your own thing. You might have a plan, you're going out, you're only going to have one meal, don't give me a to-go plate or anything like that. Or you could just be like, yo, Thanksgiving's triggering, I'm going to eat all the things, and I have no idea how things are going to go afterward. Because we think that it's going to be great, and then it's like, again, this is a time frame where people typically gain about 8 pounds in the States because it's like, yeah, we just can't stop. And then the other parties start up. The cool thing about here is that Thanksgiving doesn't exist. It's an American holiday, and United States holiday. So they don't even have turkey around here, legit, unless it's like turkey slices. I have not seen a turkey bacon, ground turkey, turkey. Like it's just not a thing here. And some of the more touristy areas, they may have turkey because they know a lot of folks from the States are there, but they're just trying to feed into our little egos. There's nothing. So Thursday is going to be Thursday, which is very different. It's my first Thanksgiving away from my family. And yeah, but what's really interesting is that it has vomited Christmas here. These folks are serious about their Christmas. Our building, because we're in the city, our building has a big old Christmas tree up. Like it's Christmas everywhere. And it's really weird because it's been like that since Halloween, which really isn't a big thing here either. So it's going to be like a fun experience to go through that. But 5 day Thanksgiving rehab, you can start off with it. I'll have a link for you to sign up. And what the link will give you is my 3 day busy, healthy body weight loss course. And what that'll do is just kind of give you some of the things that you need to be thinking of or some of the things to consider when you're just like, how can I get started with weight loss? And then the 5 day Thanksgiving rehab is going to just kind of be like a challenge, bringing all of that stuff into life. So since, let's see, let me take this off of the tripod. I'll give y'all um, a little view of what I am in San Jose right now. So we are in the city. Ooh, hold on. My screen is not bueno. By the way, that is not a real thing to say. I used to say that all the time. No bueno. It's not real. It's no es bueno, that type of thing. So yeah, my Spanish is definitely getting much more on point. So we live in a valley. Okay. So you see all the different mountains around here. It's very cloudy. It's rainy season right now. Rainy season will stop in December and then it will legit not rain hardly at all. But it's really quiet. We're literally surrounded by mountains, but it has been a great experience. It's really chill. What's also kind of interesting is that there are not any there's no heat. There's no air. The heat we really don't need. The air would sometimes be nice, but it really doesn't get super cold here either. Like I said, it's nice and breezy right now, but it's been a fun experience. So I am going to be back here more, talking a little bit more about like the experiences in Costa Rica and how it has to do with health and all of that other fun stuff, and just sharing my experiences in general. Been asked to do it. I just really wasn't into it. You know, I am about social media, but I'm back. So if you want to sign up for the course, sign up for the challenge, I will put the link in this description as well as in the comments. And y'all, until next time, stay healthy, my friends.